hills and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I drown my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as good.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shortbangers. This is episode 56. Got John and Colin on with me still from a couple of minutes ago. Yesterday, if you're listening to this on Friday, fuck knows. Depends on the order you listen to it. None of this might make sense. Know that it makes sense at the best of times. Anyway, he's both all right? Aye.
Not
Good.
bad.
Right, we'll fire straight into the questions. And I think I'll ever get used to doing that where we're pretending we're starting something new when we've literally just been speaking 30 seconds ago. Right, Portrush Punk says, given Shortbangers new interest in films, Shawshank Redemption is a load of guff. Discuss. Papillon, the Steve McQueen version, is a far superior prison movie. Shawshank is cliche-riddled shite. So, have you both seen? Is this one that you've seen, Colin, or have you not seen it?
I have seen it.
Good.
I don't remember much about it. Like I don't remember much about films after I've seen them, but I have seen it.
John?
I've seen it a few times. I was considering buying the book. I've gone through this. I've been going through this habit recently of buying books of films that I've watched. But normally you do it the other way around. Normally you've read the book and then the film comes out. So I've been reading Stephen King's It recently. Well, as recently as probably fucking last year at some point. It's over 1,000 pages.
I know that clown.
Aye. So I was looking at reading Shawshank Redemption as well. I quite enjoy the film. I'm curious to know what sort of cliche-ridden
Well,
it's filled with.
I suppose there's the cliche of getting bummed in the showers and that's quite cliche-riddled, isn't it? Like every prison movie has something along those lines in it, I think. Apart from The Great Escape.
Doesn't it happen in The Green Mile?
Nah.
That I remember. I said that really confidently there, and then went, "Oh, I'm not sure."
I was disappointed in The Green Mile. I thought it was going to be a bit of fucking bustling enough, but it wasn't. So,
You seen they're building a bus lane down the M8?
what?
There's a bus lane down the hard shoulder of the M8 from about. It looks like it's from at least Junction 2 onwards towards Hermiston Gate. Exciting traffic news from Longbangers.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. For Shawshank Redemption to the M8
So
in one
quick
big
flyer,
jump.
yeah.
Right. I like the Shawshank Redemption, to be fair. But when I read that and I thought, there are kind of cliches in it. I've never read the book.
I've never seen another film either.
I've
The
never seen
boys talking
Papillon
about.
either, but I've written it down.
No.
I'll watch the film and then I'll go and find the book.
See
In that order.
the book of the film Jaws. Do you think that has the do? Because it should have like it would for proper effect. You'd have the.
It wouldn't have the same impact.
No. What films have you watched that everybody regards as brilliant that you think is pish?
Do you remember a film called Syriana with George Clooney, Matt Damon? It was quite a hefty cast that was in it. I'm almost positive that it won Oscars, and I remember sat in the cinema watching it because I think it was one of those films that folk had said, "Oh, you need to go and see it." And it was in all the paper saying, "Oh, you need to go and see it." And I thought maybe I was a wee bit too young because I must have been about 25 at the time when it came out. And I thought maybe I'm just no long in the tooth enough to understand it and really understand the complexities and really, really feel the film. And then at the end, there was a boy that was maybe about twice my age sat next to me. We both turned and looked at each other and went, "The fuck was that about?" It's utter fucking garbage. Do not watch it. Didn't read the book either.
What you call?
I've not seen a lot of films, so I've got quite a lot of choice, I think. Was it one I've seen? Sorry, it's one I've seen.
When you've seen that everybody goes on about it, you thought, no for me.
Aye. That's a tough one then because I've not seen that many. I was going to say that when we were talking about the Shawshank though, like that's one of them that if you read a footballer's top fives or top threes, it's always in. It's like they don't. I can't think of five. Just say fucking Shawshank. Everybody else says that must be good. It's like that. It's
So
like
we'll get slated for it.
Aye, exactly. That's probably the thinking, eh? So I started watching Star Wars years ago, and I know everybody, like 40 years later or whatever it is, folks still think it's brilliant and that, and I just couldn't get into it. So I'm going to go with that.
Aye.
Controversially, aye, one of the top selling films ever. I'll just pick that.
I wasn't a fan of the Police Academy films. They were
Were you not?
pitch. No,
Aye.
shite.
Not even the first ones.
Nah, not even the first ones. It just was like, did nothing for me, really. Should have put the boy made the funny noises.
I was going to say the boy done the voices and the noises.
That was probably the highlight. Other
See, I
than
wonder
that,
if you were already a wee bit highbrow by then with your Star Wars interest, and then Police Academy for the lowbrow folk like myself came along and carried me away.
I think if they care where they are in terms of release, but I think if you like The Naked Gun as a bit like a funnier police movie than anything that the Police Academy once did. Star Trek films as well, pish. They never took to any of them. Right. The next question comes from Ray. He says, why wouldn't you, or would you? If so, why? So, answer that, John.
Shite bag if you didn't.
If you do it was a day race, so that's why I would do it. What you call?
I'm trying to actually understand the question.
I probably wouldn't bother. That's like one of these ones that you would see on the Dove from Above when Shooting Stars. Right. Niall Kenny says, Martin Boyle wants to take your better half on a date. What do you do?
Well, what's in it for me here? What am I getting out of it?
Well, at the very least, you're getting a night of peace and quiet. That's where the appeal is for me, I have to say, kid. It doesn't even have to be Martin Boyle.
Remind me of the question.
Martin Boyle wants to take your better half on a date. What do you do?
No, your wife could be his fucking mum.
Answers that folks sent in. So JK 1976 says, have fun and send me the bill boiler. Leon said, have breakfast ready for him in the morning. Tony Swanson says, have her back by 2 at the latest, Martin. And Parmaham said, buy the wine. Basher says, tell him no, because she's fucking insane. Aye, any or all of the above. You say, fair dues. I mean, I pretty much see anybody with the Scottish Cup winning team. They've got a pass for everything. That's sort of like the squad, you know. Always on the bench.
Accessible areas.
Accessible areas, aye. And I include myself in that as well. Do you know, if any of them are, do you imagine some of them watch this and think, look at these boys, fancy a shot of that. Okay, I'm just saying, I wouldn't say no. Only for the Scottish Cup team, though. Just make that clear.
Tony Stokes agreeing to take the missus out and then just not turning up because, I don't know, artificial turf at the back or something. Just some fucking random.
just decided it's no bothered.
Parma
Parmaham too.
I'll sign for Lottie. Oh, you've got a plastic pitch.
How would it not get that? He's played on it before. I suppose he would be mental. Right, Parmaham 2 said, if 42 is the answer to everything, why haven't we signed him? Have we ever had a squad number 42?
Oh, definitely
one of the young laddies or something.
Put in touch with a website that details every Hibs player that's played for every squad number. And for the life of me, I can't remember what it is.
That squad number, it's like the number that they give different players to differentiate them from other ones, John. That's not important just now. Right, if anybody cares who the best number 42 is, and you can't have level.
Why is it 42? So
well, 42's it's
Hitchhiker's Guide to the
Galaxy. It's the that's the meaning of life and everything. That answer to life, the universe, and everything. That's what the reference is.
It's by the way, it's worth a read. I wouldn't have watched the film. The film's a bit shit.
The film's one of the ones that was.
Was
I
that?
know, I'd read the book before I read the film. The film's got Martin Freeman. It's Tim for the Office in it, isn't it?
Right.
So I'm sympathetic to it because I like The Office. What are you thinking, John?
I think one of the characters in it is also in the Green Mile that we were talking about earlier.
Is it Tom Hanks?
No.
Right, Andrew McBee said, who'd win in a boxing match, Big Daz or a kangaroo? And there's a wee gif of the boy that's trying to rescue his dog for the kangaroo. Have you seen that one before? It's like, I'm guessing it's Australia, where a kangaroo is attacking this boy's dog, and the guy runs over, and the kangaroo sort of squares up to him, so the boy just hooks it. And then the kangaroo has its jukes up kind of thing, and then just goes, nah, fuck this, actually, and runs away.
Do you think if McGregor put hands on the kangaroo would go down like the Rijeka striker?
Nah. Kangaroo's got a bit of dignity about him. Bit of integrity. Kangaroo would, at best, would just accept defeat and then bugger off like that one did.
But somewhere out there in the midst of that battle, there'd be a referee going to dish out a yellow card. Ears will start twitching and everything. Oh, there's been a foul committed somewhere.
We skunk come out of somewhere. All right. Anybody taking Daz for that one? Everybody happy with that as an answer?
You got to fancy Darren McGregor to win that.
Aye. Are there any animals you think he couldn't batter?
I don't know about a lion or something. I think you'd have to go to the top of you'd be up at the top of the food chain somewhere. That's what I'm.
Aye. I suppose it depends on the environment that if it's.
Was you like a shark or something? You can sharks in that.
Well, sharks would have the advantage
not very
being
good
under the
swimmer.
water, but
He's
but
notoriously bad swimmer, Darren. So
get the shark in a boxing ring and it's fucked though. So, again, just depends who's got home advantage. John, you're thinking, do you know what the most, which animal kills the most humans every year?
wasps.
And I'm not meaning like other humans. I think it's hippos. I think hippos are the most fatal animals. That definitely
Hippos
used to be a actual fact. I'm not sure if it still is, or if they've calmed down a bit now because they had that reputation. So maybe they've had like projects and stuff to get them back on the straight and narrow. But they definitely used to be pretty
Prolific,
lethal.
were they?
Aye, prolific.
Oh fuck!
I'd be a beamer getting killed by a hippo as well, though, because they didn't look like. Can you all played Hungry Hippos when you were wee? And that's kind of your last impression. You got they're pretty harmless things, and they look like they'd be slow and everything. But
Is it definitely hippos or is it rhinos?
it's
'Cause I
hippos,
know-
I'm sure.
Because I know, like, I actually really, really like hippos. There's something about the size of them, especially when you go and see them at the zoo. Because I've not been on safari or that. But if you go see them at the zoo, the size of the animal, and they've got these tiny wee flappy ears, it fucking cracks me up.
The hippo is considered to be extremely aggressive and has frequently been reported charging and attacking boats. See, in a boat, you think you're not going to be fucking attacked by a hippo. Sharks, you would be worried about, but I'm reading that thinking safari jeeps or something like that. That's what they're going to be charging. Cars, fucking boats. So a small
See,
boats
in a
can
way-
easily be capsized by hippos, and passengers can be injured or killed by the animals or drown.
In a way, sharks are submarines with teeth.
In what way?
Prove me wrong.
I didn't even care where to start with that. It's like whenever you hear it and you go, right.
Often what happens is I'll hear something that someone says. There's the wee bit that goes inside, it goes on inside my head, and then there's the bit that comes out my mouth. There was a little bit in my head that went on there of people in boats. What is a dangerous thing in in the water that you can't see, and it's submarines. That was kind of like the connection between the two.
Have you ever read any of the Far Side cartoons? You seen
Aye.
the clips of Gary Larson, Glenn Larson, Gary Larson, I think that does them. There's one of them where there's like tourists on wee boats and it's submarines coming up to the surface to get their noses tickled for them, kind of like whales and dolphins. Anyway, Far Side books are really good. Neil said the kebab pie at Armadale. Yes or yes? So it's like a Scotch pie, but instead of mince filling, it's kebab meat.
Is that on sale where? Armadale?
Armadale.
Oh,
Armadale
definitely
Junior.
get that a try.
For Armadale Thistle.
Armadale Thistle. In its current format, no, needs something else in it.
So it's doner kebab meat and chili sauce in the Scotch pie casing by the look at it.
What else does it need, John? What are you thinking?
Well,
No one's
Is there
salad on it,
in
are
there or
you?
something?
between Fattest Prickus and I'm sure it was Fattest Prickus, I was saying that you need an additional texture or two in there to sort of counterbalance the pastry and the meat. It's just it seems a bit too flimsy and a bit too underfilled. Like
The
the
pastry's
picture of
just
the pie.
replacing the pita bread, don't it? Like if you were having an actual kebab.
Aye,
and
but
what-
then so you can't put salad in it because salad will work when you bake the pie in the oven. So you need something else. Now I was thinking maybe like a wee garlic fried dauphinoise style potato, and Fattest Prickus had chimed in with crunchy onions. There you go. And by the way, I think Aldo Shaw is going to be making them. So you're going to see them at Alan's Bakery. On this Select
Oh,
Road.
superb. Right. Well, I'm there. I'd be.
I don't know about the garlic fried potatoes, but he seemed to be taking the suggestions on board.
But I tell you what, a bit of garlic mayo in that, or on the top of it, with the chili sauce inside of that would be. I'm actually salivating thinking about that.
Surely, because surely the kebab meat's just replacing like the mince or the mince
Aye.
meat in the Scotch pie.
And then
So
the
how's
chili
it-
sauce
how's it- I
replacing
don't
the
see why it
gravy.
needs anything else.
It just I can't explain it other than so with your mince, it's got like a bit
So
of
stuck together rather than all being loose like the kebab meat is. Is that
aye,
what you mean?
it's kind of packed in there rather than just sort of like slapped in.
Right.
See, you're
Yeah.
coming round to my way of thinking now.
How quick could we get
Submarine
to
to the
Armadale?
teeth. That's where my head is.
What I was going to say, what time's it shut?
I think they deliver get on Just Eat. There's how we can learn how to do it in lockdown. We can make we can steal the idea for kebab pies, fine tune them, pretend they're luxury items, and sell them for a ridiculous markup. Just give them a posh name. We just sell them at the back of a van.
Fairness,
This time next year, we'll be
Fairness
millionaires.
pies.
Here, do you think you would you go with the pie in the roll still with that one as well?
Oh, even better.
Or would you get the pita bread out for it?
It's both. Give the choice to make it.
Yeah.
Aye. Right, 150k on Hamlin Hill. If Boiler had his arse hairs tied together, which current Hibs player would be as fast as him in a 100-metre race?
He's got his arse ears tied together. So he's got to slow him down a bit, presumably, yeah.
Daniel Mackay's going to be faster.
I was going to say, how far are we running? Did it specify?
100 metres. Aye.
100 metres. Aye, so it's going to be. It's going to be. I reckon it'll be one of the. See, you get boys that are short and sharp over real short distances. Boyle like a trick over 30, 40, 50 metres and that.
Mhm.
But I bet boys like Doig that can match them over 100. So I'm going to go with Doig.
I was thinking doing a tripod as well.
He'll be an athletic boy with a big long stride.
Aye.
Maybe even
Oh,
port chest.
By the way, Darren McGregor, see when he gets the big strides out, he's pretty quick. But has he got the staying distance? Has he got the stamina for 100 metres?
Matt Macy must get like 2 or 3 strides.
As a
Given the-
goalie, they didn't run.
I bet this. It does have to be. Like, you ever watched the BFG?
Aye, I've seen that film.
Right.
I read
So
the book.
how quick is the BFG? So
Don't know.
he's bought BFG. I reckon is maybe 6 or 7 inches taller than Matt Macy.
How
so-
quick did the 100 metres? Can you remember?
Seconds, like so. Right, Andrew said most sprinters are big strapping lads. Boyle would probably beat Usain Bolt in a 25-metre race. Over 100 metres, I think Porteous might beat him. So he was just answering that one. So
That's interesting.
Porteous,
That's
right?
kind of what I was saying.
Aye, it was. Well done.
I agree with him. Well
Aye.
done, him.
Fattest Pickus says you need to assemble a squad of 6 inanimate objects to help you survive the apocalypse. Those 6 objects are the only objects you're allowed to touch for the rest of time. What are they? If John needs more answers to the above, just tell him, just because. Right. 6 objects to survive the apocalypse. One of them's going to be a Swiss Army knife.
Aye. It's the obvious one, just because there's multiple options here.
It's a bit vanilla.
Well, you say that, John, right? But how many Swiss soldiers have you seen killed by a zombie? Assuming it's a zombie apocalypse, because that's what they all are these days, aren't they?
Does Switzerland have an army? Ken, how they're neutral? Have they got like a wee? Is it NATO or who are the folk that wear the blue helmets that went into like Bosnia and that? Is that NATO?
Oh, NATO,
Or
NATO
was that
were
the
in
UN?
Bosnia and the UN were in,
UN,
but the UNI rather than NATO.
Aye. I don't know.
It depends what the UN stands for, by the way. Either it's like one of life's mysteries. So if you do know the answer to what UN stands for, text it into 80295. It's the same as the F and F1. Total mystery, yeah. They just call it F1, then depends what the F stands for. Or HD. Could be anything. Right, 6 inanimate objects. Swiss Army knife, we've got 1. I think if we get 6 between us, otherwise we're going to be.
Oh shit!
Aye.
I'm on 5 out of 6.
Right, you
I'm
did
just
rattle
looking
off
for
then.
random shit
Oh,
lying. about
right. What have you got then? You've just been looking at stuff you have.
Aye.
A phone and a phone charger, because otherwise you'd be bored.
Aye. What was? Remind me, are we stranded on a desert island?
That
That's
desert island
apocalypse.
is really mentioned at all. It's just the apocalypse.
Oh, the apocalypse.
Imagine Livy Centre on a Saturday, John.
Oh fuck! You're definitely going to need.
Remember
At
that
least
fucking
one of these
Swiss
things.
Army knife you need. With his jacket with fucking blades in
So
it.
my 6 are bottle opener, but you know the wine bottle, the one that's got the legs,
Aye.
a USB.
Might be on your Swiss Army knife, though. You might not need
Aye.
it.
See, this is the thing. The Swiss
the
Army
beauty.
knife, John, gives you, although it's one object, there's fucking loads of objects in there, especially if you get one of the good ones.
A USB, a beard trimmer, a wee tin of Vaseline, a pair of Bluetooth wireless headphones, and a foam roller.
A foam roller.
Aye. For if you've got like a sore back or that, you can just roll yourself up and down it.
I'd just be breaking into the chemists and just tanning all the painkillers and everything. Because if I had that, I wouldn't bother with foam rollers. If you can just,
You'll
I
have them in
assume
the chemist. If you're breaking at the chemist, just fucking steal them when you're in.
but actually, I suppose would that count as touching objects?
Oh, right.
Because you couldn't touch them. So maybe the foam rollers are touch genius there, John. Maybe I'm doing you a disservice based on the question. I'd maybe take like a wee stress ball, because I get you would be getting worked up at times, and how else you going to vent? So one of them.
Whatever happened to the stress balls, like the sort of novelty ones that were shaped like people's seeds and that you got back in, what you say, it was maybe mid-90s, early to mid-90s. So like pink ones, and they were filled with like corn syrup and stuff, and you could like really like squish them. Did they just not do them anymore?
So they're probably highly toxic or something like that. You know, like this, they never degrade, and
They
like
kill children.
aye, they found fish with them kind of in their bellies and stuff like that. Do you mind the wee toys you used to get wee faces that you put your fingers in the back and you could make them gurn? Did you ever have them when you were wee?
No.
I will. I did.
Just Whitburn.
Just Whitburn. All right. Next question, Jim McIntosh. Will Hearts finish newish tiny before Aberdeen start and finish a new Pittodrie? Doubtful.
Yeah, no.
I think
Tynecastle, like, is it the Gaudi Cathedral in Barcelona, where it's been getting built for the last 70 years, that's going to last like another 70 years until it's complete?
aye, at least that. I think they'll ever finish it.
No, I think they're even intending it. I think that's they're finished now, aren't they? No, they're not even talking about doing anything anymore.
Aye.
Because when they're doing something, they tell everybody over and over and over.
do.
So they're finished.
Aye. I think there must have been some news about Aberdeen building their stadium, was there, that I've maybe missed?
I don't know. I thought that was done during lockdown. It was all over and done with then. I'm not sure what's coming out this week. Like,
It's
don't know if it's
under
to do with Martin
construction.
Boyle bid or
Is
It's
it?
under construction in Kingswell, Aberdeen, according to the internet.
Oh, aye. That reliable
is it
source.
reliable? Yes, it's in
Yep.
the know.
TG Willis
That's the fake news that they should sell the Taliban. The Aberdeen Stadium's off.
Everything on the internet's true.
Tynecastle's finished. Just follow these stairs to get to where you want to go.
Jet fuel can melt steel beams.
TG Willis is not in the least bit funny, but where's the best place near Easter Road for pre-match scran? So there was a few shout outs to this one when I put it on Twitter. So it was Victoria's, La Favorita, John, what's the burrito place? Los Cardos Blancos or something, is it?
Los Cardos is on Leith Walk, aye. I'm sure it's on Leith Walk.
Aldo's, obviously. Alan's Bakery.
Wrestle Road, aye.
Wrestle Rig, Silent Tea.
Stories is good as well.
Stories got one.
Never underestimate Stories.
Place opposite Middleton's, whose name escapes me, was also mentioned as well. So apologies to them for not remembering
Lucy
the name.
Van Pelt that had tweeted that. And
Yes, it was.
Find the name of it now. Chat amongst yourselves.
There's a KFC at the
Sainsbury's.
at Sainsbury's and that. Aye. If you park there, you can still cut through, I think, can you? I've not parked there for ages. Obviously,
I've been there for.
I've been at the stadium for apart from the last couple of games.
I've not parked there since March 2020 or whatever it was.
I quite like the idea of being able to promote wee businesses around about the stadium. So if anybody has shouts for scran or drinks or that around or a match day, then let us know. Just tag them in or tweet to us. John, while you're looking up the name of that one, we've got a question from Andrew Brown who said, "What have Sheepco actually done in the last 30 years to merit their smugness? Gets on my tits big time." Aberdeen are a smug team, aren't they?
Yeah. It's just living off the 30 years ago, isn't it? They've not done anything. I mean, they've not won. It was 30 years since I won the Scottish Cup. Is that where the 30 years thing comes?
I think so.
It's about
1990.
Yeah, I was getting on about the length of time folk have never won the Scottish Cup for it. Amazing.
Aye, exactly.
Amazing.
Exactly. Nobody talks about it now though, because it's Dundee that've got the record. Dundee's up to about 100. I think they're about 110 or something now. It's never. But I don't know if it's because they got papped too early doors, and we used to make the mistake of getting further in, so we'll get hopes up more.
Bigger club as well,
I know, but they're still Dundee's still in the top 6, top 8 in Scotland, aren't they? I would have thought.
Yeah, I think so.
They'll never get mentioned for being in well over 100 years.
Hearts are catching up with the League Cup, eh?
Aye.
They're about 60 odd years now.
I think it's 60 now, isn't it?
Is that not a wee bit like it's funny that they've not won it in that long, but is it not a wee bit recycled patter because they did it to us for long enough?
Yeah. John, where have you been? This is what football fandom is all about, isn't it? Like being a football supporter is the most petty vocation fucking going. Like you are allowed to be completely fickle. Like you are literally, like if you're not changing your mind on an almost daily basis about players, results, managers, other teams, what's good pattern and what's bad pattern, you're not doing it right. It's like it's in the job description.
The cafe was the Walrus, by the way, that's opposite Middleton's that Lucy Van Pelt had recommended.
Oh, they had that famous Beatles song named after it as well.
Good, you,
aye. Penny Lane, that's one I'm going to. Aberdeen, so I can't remember what game it was, but Aberdeen beat us at Easter Road. It was under McInnes. I think it was one of the many games where that boy Shinnie was able to just, assistant foul to a ridiculous degree. I think they kicked us off the park that night. And I complained about it on Twitter. And honestly, see the number of Aberdeen fans who were like in my mentions that it was like bangers, loads of them. It was for about 2 days solid. Aberdeen fans kind of try to rub it in. And like, fuck, like I couldn't. The other team had done that. And through Longbangers, we slate quite a lot of teams at times when funny things happen to them. And Nobody does it. It's only even Hearts fans. Like only a couple of Hearts fans get involved. Aberdeen fans jumped all over it, and I thought, who are you?
Do you think
And
it's
it's funny though.
because of their limited success and sort of emergence in the 90s, and even in the last couple of years when they finished second a few times? I think that's probably got something to do with it. They probably
An
think of
inflated
themselves
sense
as,
of
aye.
aye.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Colin?
No, it was back on what you were saying about they would be on there defending it and rubbing it in and whatnot, but then because we were saying for years, like, they're shite to watch. They come down here, they kick you about, they stand and defend, they hope you make a mistake, they scrape a penalty or whatever. But you were told, they were like, well, it's winning football, it's what it's all about. I'd rather win than get beat, blah blah blah. But that's why they got their manager sacked last year, because it was shite.
Aye.
Because it's shite to watch so many years. So it's just football fans being football fans, isn't it? Like when you're winning, it's all right. As soon as you lose a couple, it's no all right.
I
See
always
how
think-
Pittodrie's a bit of a hole.
Yeah.
It's a bit disjointed in that. I didn't mind the Richard Donald stand. That's pretty smart.
Nice one.
Like, what? So there was maybe an alternative there. Like, what did they have to move away from Pittodrie for to like this bloody breeze block edge of the
Because
city?
it's a whole. It's like it's no fit for purpose, is it? Pittodrie. It's like even they don't even have a proper away end. Do you know? Last time I went to Pittodrie, you're stuck, but like just that bit of fence.
And a pen. Well,
Aye.
it used to be a pen.
I take it they kind of develop it, and maybe they get more money for it, or for the land to sell houses on it,
Aye.
and they'll build one out there.
It's better for them to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're an Aberdeen fan, because it'll be crap. I would hate it if Hibs moved away free. So mind they were talking about going straight in, and you thought, didn't do that, please. It would be
They're handy as fuck for me.
Aye,
I
it would
was,
be, it would be handy, but it's not the same, is it?
No.
The best thing to come out of Aberdeen in recent years is that nice Beckham boy. But for the WhatsApp messages, that's it. That's the best thing that Aberdeen have done for years, and his mates rinsing him. So, right, Mike said, so he was replying to a tweet. Somebody, or Big Hibby, said, "Why do I always mouth Hun whenever I see a Rangers fan at work or anywhere? Is that normal?" So he wasn't actually replying to us or asking us, but we got tagged in it by Mike. He said he just spat his coffee out all over the white rug. How do you get coffee stains out of a white rug, or do you have diversionary tactics I could deploy? So have you ever done that when you've been laughing? Have you spat what's in your mouth out?
No.
No.
I've choked like if you've got some because it would go down the way rather than out the way.
Yeah.
Like, in my experience.
I had a flatmate, right? This is without a word of a lie. This is true. So I don't care if he was laughing actually, but he was eating chips. And I think he sneezed and the chip came out his nose.
Did he eat the chip?
I don't doubt it. I can't remember. But if I was putting money on it, knowing the caliber of stuff he used to get up to, I would say yeah, he almost definitely did.
Just a wee bit extra salty.
Exactly. See that coffee on a white rug? I think you pour tea on it. Do you know? Is that not the?
Like red wine and white wine.
Aye,
You just have
that's
the
what you
opposite, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just turn the rug upside down as well.
A diversionary tactic.
Tipex.
I was going to say shite in the kettle.
Shite in the kettle. There was a story about somebody had. Where did I see this? There was a story in the paper. The wee girl had woken up their mum and dad to say there's a man in the kitchen again, and they thought the kid was just can't imagine it, and they went down the stairs, and actually the boy by this point had moved to the kitchen and was just crashed out on the sofa, and he'd got lost when he was drunk, and he just kind of found his bed in their house, but he'd shat in their kettle. What a weird thing to do, eh? But how glad would you be, like, if we've got a kettle you can see into, do you know, like a glass, but if you had one of the old ones, there's a really nasty way you could find out that that's happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
Aye. So I hope they had a glass kettle. That's all.
I wonder at which point you would find out that someone had shat in your kettle. Like, would you smell it? Like, assuming
You would
that
smell it when
was
it's boiling. As soon as
Would you-
it's
aye.
boiling up.
Aye.
See that? I thought you were going to say that the boy got stripped off and ran into the kitchen to scare him off.
like
I
Niall
thought,
did.
I thought that's where the story was going. I didn't see the shite in the kettle. I thought this is definitely another naked thing.
No,
I've never shot in a kettle.
It wasn't. I had a Burbissaid boy who shat in his oven. So he was hammered, didn't want to wake the missus up. So sometimes he would go in his back garden and get a carrier bag to tell me about it. It's what time he was at, planned, and obviously it came out he was then.
Is he like ex-SAS or something? This
I
boy,
think
like?
shat in the oven. I was like, why would you do that? Right, it's the first thing, but then why would you be telling folk? It was like a story he told me quite early on in our friendship as well. I was like, quite
Try to put you off.
impressive. He says he realised and cleaned it before anybody kind of found out, but that's a deep clean you wouldn't want to be doing, huh?
What did he do with the carrier bag? Did he take it in the house? Or did he chuck it in the garden, over the garden?
I think he
So
stays
neighbour
near
wakes
the,
up.
I think he stays near the canal at Falkirk, yeah. So it's maybe going to I think kid. Yes. Again, check that out with Boris. Do you know you seen the film Seven?
Aye.
Kind of the end,
What's in
we
the
open
box?
up the box. Okay, what's in the bag? Oh! If only it was a 17. Right, Cater's Corner said, if Dave Cormack really has 500k, why doesn't the scruffy bastard get a decent haircut? He's kicking about like Joe Cardle's dad. I'm in no position to talk about scruffy haircuts now, so we should move on for that question. I quite like the reference to Joe Cardle's dad. The Hibs are here said, cheerleaders at the football sexist or sexy?
It's sexist, isn't it? And because you can't say it's sexy because it's wee lassies. You know what I mean? It's not even.
No.
It's never. Any time you've ever, or not that it's happened that often, but when you've seen it, like West Ham had a set, I think, cheerleaders at one point, and it's like it's just wee lassies.
Aye.
So it's not
Lee
sexy
Griffiths
anymore.
straight in there, getting the numbers. Find it on Instagram. How much would it take if Hibs were to come to us and say, right, Longbangers, but we want you to come in for some halftime entertainment. There's not much that we can offer you, but you could be paid
Here's a set of pom-poms.
cheerleader gig. Right, free tickets for the rest of the game. You can stay for the game. How much would it take for us to cheerlead? Or would we just stay for it? I'm not going to talk us into doing it, by the way, but
I would not fucking be near it.
nah.
No, I'll film it for YouTube or something. Right, you can go on it.
I bet there's folk who would do it. They would jump at the chance, but no me. That's not a sight you want to see. Right, Kieran,
telling it to me. There needs to be an angle that makes me go, aye, okay. I'm not hearing that yet.
Free ticket, he said.
A free ticket, John. Aye.
I've already put my season ticket.
Free ticket for Tynecastle. Then there you go.
Now listen, you know the Derby tickets are difficult to come across.
Well, there you go.
That's a good advertising campaign. Eh? Debase yourself for Derby tickets.
You could have effectively like the equivalent of a cup top up and an away season ticket. That's what's on offer for you, John. Right, cup top up and an away season ticket. If you do a bit of cheerleading.
Aye.
Right. Okay, if you'd like to see John cheerleading, text in John the cheerleader to 80295. Kieran Heaney said, if Bobby Madden gave the most blatant Stonewall penalty, then reversed his decision, how much on the Madden scale would it be? For me, a solid 15 out of 10. But right there.
John Madden.
John Madden. Did you play John Madden when you were wee?
On the Mega Drive,
aye.
It's an American football game.
Aye. It was brilliant. Like the first, see when it was basic as anything. Amazing game. You could play it for hours.
Your defending options were A, B, or C.
Aye.
It's fucking brilliant.
Superb. And then they started, it's like what they did with FIFA and that. They started making it realistic and you stop doing that. Just make it fun. I just want to have fun when I'm playing a game. I didn't want to be lifelike. I don't have a 0-0 draw in a game of football. That's shit.
I want a basic pass, I want to shoot, I want to cross, and I want a through ball, and I want a slide tackle.
You want a hack,
and I want to be able to sprint, and I want to be able to move. So I need 7 buttons.
Right.
Hook me up.
Hook me up. John Madden was a good game though. The on EA Play on Xbox, I think you can play the old NHL hockey as well. But you see the fights going. Did you play that?
Like the Mega Drive hockey, NHL.
Aye, NHL hockey. But basically, the whole point of that game was just to get into a scrap. That's what you spent the game doing, wasn't it? Going around trying to foul somebody so you had like a fight.
If I remember rightly, I think B was the body check. You would just skate up behind someone.
Boomf, like that. Then hope that it kicked into a fight. Do you ever play it, Colin? Ever run to Scots to play it? Scott had it.
Nah, did he? Nah, I never played
Aye.
it. But that is the point of the real game, American ice hockey, isn't it?
Aye.
Just fight. And then sometimes somebody scores a goal, or if you call it that.
The referees didn't seem to bother in that. See, and what gets me is to have these big scraps at ice hockey, and everybody just accepts it. But you look at it, combined Neil Lennon and Alan McCoy squared up to each other. They didn't even do anything. They just a bit of pointing. Yeah. The government got involved with that. Like that. How mental is that? You go, fuck, if it's at ice hockey, that's fine. Two men getting a bit angry at each other at the football, that's got to go to Parliament. Mental.
Yeah.
Land of the free, mate.
Aye.
That's what that is.
St. Christopher said Chris Mueller at the age of 24 has already written a motivational book, and it's called Bet on Yourself. Which Hibs player is most likely to write a book next?
A book or a motivational book? Just a book.
Just a book, yeah.
Murder Mystery by Paul McGinn.
Did you ever hear that there was a TalkSport show? It was Hawksby and Jacobs that are on TalkSport in the afternoons. It was years and years ago. You still listen to it. They used to, at the end of their show, read out a bit for a Steve Bruce murder mystery book. Have you ever?
I've seen that.
So I can't he's written one, but I've never seen anything about it. Were they just rinsing it? Were they?
Aye, because it was. I can't remember much about it because it was like 10, 15 years ago probably. I think they're still on the channel, but when they done the Steve Bruce stuff, it must have been early 2000s.
And what I would like to see them do, right? You know how sometimes writers use a pseudonym, right? And they'll put it out, right? That's what it is, isn't it? Where they put out in somebody else's name. Aye.
Let's go with that. Yeah.
Right. I'd like them to stitch up somebody. So I'm Paul Hanlon. I'm going get this book out, but put it out and say it's been written by Paul McGinn or something like that. See a kid Darren McGregor. It just stitched them up so that it looks like they've released the book. That's what I would be doing.
You would if it was shite.
Nah,
you were proud of it. You would want your name.
Aye, detectives. Probably was even Steve Bruce that wrote that. Because Gary Pallis has done it. Just
some fucking journalist wrote it for him. He was just saying stuff, and the journalist was writing it into words.
Who out of the Hibs squad do you reckon is most likely to write one of those bodice rippers that your mum might take to Tenerife with? Kind of like the Mills and Boone style.
Oh, Jack Ross. Jack Ross did kids' book, but I reckon he would be definitely writing like a 50 Shades type book. John, is that what you mean?
Aye, I suppose so.
Or are you going for the old school Mills and Boone?
Either.
That's
well, I don't. That's maybe two questions in one, isn't it? Who's writing the Mills and Boone, and who's into BDSM?
Oh, right. So Jack Ross
John Potter's got either been to that, or he'll be like doing the Paul Ferris style when I was a gangster book. Because he's from that area and everything, isn't he? So it's like he's well into that.
Aye. Right, we'll go with that. The book, by the way, Chris Miller's book gets good reviews on Amazon. It's a wee motivational book. I wonder if he'll think he would hand out copies when he comes and arrives as a wee gift to everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Mueller with his wee American accent. Here's my book. And we might go like in this massive like performance skyrockets because everybody's motivated to fuck. I hope that happens. I'm gonna tweet him and ask him to bring a book for everybody.
Or at least three for us. One each.
Signed copies.
150k in Hamlin Hill said, if Big Daz is the boy on the left, Boiler is in the middle, who from the Hibs squad is on the right? And it's from Superman, General Zod, here, this Darren McGregor. So who for the Hibs squad is this one?
Great right.
Who's there? McGregor's on the...
Here.
Right.
Also looks like Vic's character in Catterick. Mind we were talking about him.
Aye. And who's the one in
Yeah,
the
that's
middle?
right.
Boilers
Generals.
in the middle.
Was it? Yeah, that's. Boilers in the middle in that
Was he?
question. Yep.
All right. I would have thought he's more suited to being the wee one on the side in the wing. But,
Who did you say, John? Dre Wright?
Great, right.
Yeah, I'll go with that as well.
I was thinking the boy in the middle is a bit like Jackson Irvine, ex off Hibs.
Jackson
But-
Irvine's a good shout also. Uh,
Remember him? Yeah, remember he was getting talked up as.
sure, the
everybody spoke
interesting,
about him.
the interesting thing is, right, Jackson Irvine might be talked to. I think you said Colin for quite a while, so you weren't really that asked if he stayed or if he went.
Yeah.
If he'd stayed, we probably wouldn't have McGuinness playing,
That's right.
or we
Yeah,
maybe
they
wouldn't
never
move
played
for
last year.
Doyle Hayes. So
Mm.
and both of them are better than what Irvine was for us last season.
Yep.
Right, a few questions left. We'll just finish them. There's only 3 left, 4 left, whatever. Carl said, who would you rather took over your town, the Taliban or Smelly Hearts fans? Taliban, eh?
Well, I've got 3 daughters, so
But Taliban, we've seen they've got the fun side, Colin. Do you know they've been on the dodgems, they've been at the
Dodgems,
roller
isn't it?
coasters and that.
It's the Taliban or Graham Riggs, isn't it?
well, did you read that article today?
Oh no.
No, I'll
Is there
send you
current
after.
events?
That was in the the Athletic got hold of something.
Aye, turns out he's not just a wrong un, he's also like a racist wrong un. And that was
Allegedly, of course.
allegedly
there was
that
a
was
reason I
that
didn't
was the
like that
gist
guy.
of the article. Romanoff called him a
Yeah.
hero. That tells you all about the Hearts, right? TG Willis says, what do you think the red tape Callum Davison keeps playing with versus Lask? I thought it might be a condom at first, so I never saw this, but I think Callum Davison. Did you see the St Johnstone game earlier?
No.
No.
Tend not to watch them.
What do you think?
remember?
What do you think he was playing with then? What would be red and stringy they might have? I hope he's got a Stretch Armstrong toy.
Do you remember Madonna? There was a real craze. Was it early 2000s where there was a load of celebrities that were into, was it the sort of Jewish religion Kabbalah? I think he's maybe just heard about that and thought he'd get involved.
Maybe.
Maybe a yo-yo.
He looks the type.
It's a yo-yo.
Maybe. I don't know. I wish I'd
Richardson.
seen it, and then I would be able to kind of. It might have been. He was maybe had a baby bell, and he just didn't want to
Can
let
you
her.
get open?
Aye, so or he's opened it, doesn't want to just chuck it away. Since humans can't see air, can fish see water? That's from Matt.
Fuck.
Well, see, when you're in water yourself as a human, do you see water? Or do you just see? I suppose you do see water. don't
Yeah,
you?
you do.
So I think they can then.
I was watching a thing, right? See, Cole, you've recently purchased an Ultra HD TV, didn't you?
Yep.
Fairly
last year,
recently, right? Aye, fairly
Yep.
recently. So I watch stuff that's in Ultra HD to see how good it looks, right? Because like that's what men do. They're like
I've
just
done
oh,
that,
I
yep.
want to go. And I was watching this thing. So on Sky on Demand, I think it was like sort of nature documentary underwater, and they were showing this wee fish thing and talking about how complex its eyes were. So it's got the most complex eyes. It was a crab or something, but they were on 2 wee stalks like this, and they could move independently. And rather than just having the pupil, they had I think 3 focal points in each. So it was like it could get like a 6-dimensional picture or something. I can't quite remember exactly the way that the person described it. So I reckon that could definitely see the water. If it could see all that, it could see ultraviolet and infrared. They definitely said that. I think how they work that out though. This is the other thing. Is how do you ken what a fish can see?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, same with flies and stuff. I don't know how you know that, but there must be a way of figuring it out. So I would say yes, they could see the water.
Yeah. See, you watched that when you got an Ultra HD Telecommand, and I went on YouTube and Googled like snowboarding and that.
I know I've done that as well.
online,
I've had mine ages.
just to see the. Didn't he listen to anything they were saying? Just went, oh, look at that picture.
I can't even remember why I was watching it. I think it was to get dance bombs off the TV. I think just anything would have done at that point.
To get it out your search history.
Anything would have done. Right, last question of the night comes from St Christopher again. It says, just a wee follow up on the Mueller question. How is he going to get on in the dressing room? Can you imagine him telling Porto and Boyle to bet on themselves or some other motivational quote? I think we've covered that already, haven't we? With I'm rocking up with just a carrier bag. But it's a Tesco bag. Just like a bag for life. With a squad full of books. Just ready to hand them all out. Signed. Best wishes.
I really hope. Oh Jesus! I hope it's going to be like one of those movie premiere goodie bags. Like it's going to have his book and it's going to have like a bottle of water and a protein bar or something inside. Maybe a wee Fitbit. Get your steps in, boys. Look after yourselves.
Yeah, what would you bring your USB on the 6 objects for? That just came back to me. That you said USB. What are you going to do with that?
Has to be inanimate.
What are you plugging into?
To charge up his Bluetooth headphones.
Right.
USB always takes 3 goes, doesn't it? To get it in. So if you try to plug something in USB, it's always 3 times.
Do you want to know the trick how to do it once?
They've got it marks on them on the plug which side up it goes.
Aye, if you look at your USB, it's got a wee seam on one side, a wee seam running down it, and that's the one that always goes to the bottom.
Aye, who does that away? You normally just get fucking shut in.
Me, ever since I found it.
Aye, you're no fun. Right, that's us for this week. Thanks for listening. We'll be back on Sunday with Quick Bang after Hibs hopefully get a good result against Dundee. And then watch out for Monday because we have got a special guest lined up. So assuming that goes ahead, we will have a newly contracted Hibs player joining us on Longbangers, which we're looking forward to. Until then, take care of yourselves, have a good weekend, and Moon the Hibs.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water, no.